on, guys? My name is Zed and welcome to this video. This is Last Week the Show, where I basically talk about everything that I found interesting in the previous week in pop culture. Now, right here ahead of the video, I do want to say this week has not been like oversaturated with a bunch of news, but there have been a bunch of bigger stories. So I'm going to start off with the smaller stuff and then kind of build up to the bigger stuff. So without any further ado, let's get into it with some kind of researched news. So to start off the week, we have some Marvel Studios news. The studio confirms that Thanos is, quote, the last of an ancient and highly sophisticated species known throughout the universe as the Eternals. So you know the Eternals was supposed to come out this year, but then was pushed back till next year, I believe. Now the Eternals is about, again, this very sophisticated, highly looked upon race of beings in the universe, and apparently Thanos is the last of them, which raises the question, do the Eternals die in their movie or maybe in their sequel? Who knows? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the Eternals have just been forgotten about. Maybe they aren't dead, but they're in hiding. Who knows? But it raises some interesting questions that I hope are answered in the Eternals movie. Moving along with some reboot news, Legendary Pictures casts Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger in the studio's reboot. Now, I'm familiar with the Toxic Avenger toy line, but when it comes to the movie, I know really nothing about it, but I really like Peter Dinklage, so I'm excited for him to get like an actual starring role and not a supporting role, which is usually what he has and usually what I've seen him in. So very cool casting, looking forward to that. And just a little piece, just a little tidbit, the very first look at Marvel Studios' Spider-Man 3 will be dropping this month in December. So I'm super stoked for that because I gotta see what we're doing. For all you folks out there that have a Disney Plus subscription, you will be pleased to hear that the live action adaptation of Mulan is now free to watch on Disney Plus. It was under a like an additional paywall for a couple months, but that has now dropped and you can watch it for free. It's definitely going to be one I'm going to be watching soon. I'm going to watch the original and then the live action, and I may even do a comparison here on the channel and see which one I like the most. But so cool. And then next up in some video game movie news, Oscar Isaac has been casted as Solid Snake in the upcoming live-action Metal Gear Solid movie. I know Solid Snake. He's been a part of different fighting games. I believe he was a part of... Was he in Smash? I don't know. I just know of the character, and I know Oscar Isaac seemingly is trying to get in every single nerdy property he can. He's been a part of what? He's been a part of Marvel already. He's going to be Moon Knight. Star Wars. He's going to be in Dune. He's going to be... where else is he going to be? Has he been in DC? He's not been in DC yet, but that's next. Now, this confuses me a lot, but apparently there is a Plastic Man movie centered around a female lead in development over at Warner Brothers. Now, if you know anything about the character Plastic Man, which I have a figure of him right here. Let's see if I can get him out without knocking everything over. He is locked in. So if you know anything about the character of Plastic Man, or at least his origins in early comics, you know that he's a womanizer, bit of a sexist, he's a creep, he's just all around kind of a gross guy. He definitely does not have a good track record when it comes to women and how he treats them. So it's interesting they're going for a female lead on such a female degrading character. A Plastic Man movie is something that I have actually wanted for a while now, and I like the casting choices of Johnny Knoxville or Pete Davidson, so it's interesting that they're going a more female route potentially. So with the upcoming release of Wonder Woman 84, the initial reactions for the movie are just now hitting the interwebs, and it's overall positive. A lot of reviewers are pointing out the performances of both Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal as amazing. Gal Gadot brings it even more as Wonder Woman. It's a touching story. It's a story that we need right now. And apparently Chris Pine is also a weird addition to the cast. Not addition, but his appearance is kind of strange, but very funny. So looking forward to this so much. I mean, this is like in my top 2 of the year, the Batman and Wonder Woman 89, 84. So the sooner I can watch this movie, which is just in a couple more weeks, the better. And now we are getting to the 2 biggest stories of the week, starting off with Warner Brothers. Now, Warner Media has announced that they will be releasing its entire 2021 movie slate on both HBO Max and in theaters simultaneously. Now, this will come at no extra cost. If you have an HBO Max subscription, which I believe as of right now is $15 per month, you will be able to watch these movies same day as in theaters with all of the other content HBO Max has to offer. Movies slated for next year like Godzilla vs. Kong, The Suicide Squad, Matrix 4, Dune. I mean, there's a ton of stuff coming from Warner Brothers next year, and this is very bittersweet for me. So here's my thoughts. Now, this is amazing. I mean, HBO Max is quickly becoming like the most premium subscription service you can have, because it's like right now Netflix is about $13 a month. So for $2 extra, you basically get all of Warner's movies, their upcoming movies, upcoming television shows, all the stuff from DC and what have you. And that's fantastic. I love that. But this is going to be extremely difficult for theater chains. We are going to be seeing a lot of your local theaters closing down. Even the big ones like AMC or Cinemark or what have you, like these bigger chains, they are going to close down. We are seeing convenience basically become a driving force in this whole thing. It's the same thing that happened with Blockbuster and Netflix. It's the same thing that happened between mom and pop stores and Amazon. Now it's going to be happening between HBO Max and the movie theaters. I believe it was the AMC CEO that came out basically bashing HBO and Warner Media for making this decision, and it was saying it's basically their responsibility to keep movie theater chains alive and the movie-going experience alive, and they're killing it. Like, they are actively killing it. And I don't disagree. It's bittersweet. It's an opinion that I definitely need to sit on a bit more and just let it brew. I'm not entirely sure, but I pass it over to you guys. What do you think? Now, moving on from that, there is a bunch of new news coming out of the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. First off, we talked about this recently. Haley Steinfeld has been confirmed as Kate Bishop, Hawkeye's daughter. She has been seen with Jeremy Renner multiple days on set shooting scenes. She looks like Kate Bishop. She's sporting a bow and arrow. So that's seemingly confirmed. I love that casting. Everywhere on the internet that I've seen people discussing it, everyone thinks she's perfect. Another big casting, Florence Pugh has joined the cast of Hawkeye. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. But if you do not know, Florence is going to be taking over the mantle of Black Widow in the Black Widow movie. I believe she is Natasha's sister, and I don't know what events take place or transpire to basically pass on the mantle of Black Widow, because I haven't seen the movie and nobody else has either, but interesting news nonetheless. Here's a little piece of news. So in the comics, Hawkeye loses his hearing. So Clint Barton loses his hearing, and he wears hearing aids. And people have been seeing photos like this on set where Jeremy Renner is wearing some type of earpiece. And they're like, oh, they're doing it. He's going to go deaf. He's going to go deaf. Here's my only thing. I'm all for them doing that storyline. I say go for it. But to me, what these look like are the earpieces that actors wear on set to get direction from the director. So the director is not yelling over the scene. Obviously, there's probably big scenes where it looks like they're in a subway station, lots of noise, lots of extras. So it seems like they're wearing earpieces to maybe get direction from the director. That's just my theory. They could definitely be doing the hearing aid thing, but I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. Now, with this earlier photo I showed you of Kate Bishop, you see this golden retriever, and that is, of course, Lucky the pizza dog, which is a character in the Hawkeye comics and in Marvel Comics in general. Super cool to see him there, just a really nice detail. Another piece of news, Tony Dalton has apparently been casted as the Swordsman in this Hawkeye television series, a character I'm not too familiar with. I believe I've seen him in animation before, but cool nonetheless, a villain I'm not too familiar with, so I'm looking forward to be familiarized with him. And then last but not least, this series will be set in 2025. This has been confirmed by this photograph right here, which shows a New Year's poster with the date 2025 on it. Definitely cool. I mean, it's definitely weird not having the Marvel movies set in our time anymore. But who the fuck would want to be in 2020 anyways? And now we are at our final story for this week. Straight out of some Star Wars news, Lucasfilm is reportedly working on an animated series to coincide with the upcoming 2021 Old Republic book series. Now, apparently the events of this book series takes place 200 years prior to the Skywalker saga and 800 years after the Old Republic. This is exciting for me. Like, I love prequel stories, and that's kind of a blasphemous word in the Star Wars fan base, but I love seeing old stuff. I love seeing, like, not primitive, but it's cool to me. Like, there's Jedi like this, hopefully I can find a good picture, that I've heard about in, like, YouTube videos where they have these lightsabers that are attached to, like, these backpacks, which give them their power source. I think they were called the Jedi, not the Jedi, but the Jedi, and they're, like, very primitive Jedi, obviously by the name. And I just find that so fascinating. It's so cool to me. I love it. So I'm super excited for some more Star Wars animation. And this is just nothing but good news. All right, guys, that is it. Like I said at the beginning, there wasn't too terribly many news stories that I wanted to cover this week. And there's even some that I left out that I thought that there just wasn't enough to talk about, and I was just going to be showing pictures and not really having much to comment on. But thank you for watching. If there's anything you'd like to discuss with me, do so in the comments down below. I love talking to y'all. But thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Peace.